Coach, I think Ohio State, Penn State, I think a heavyweight championship fight, especially in the trenches. Is that what you're expecting?
Same. Yeah, same. They're going to be playing really, really hard. I know Coach Smith has got them, and they played really hard in the Iowa game. It was a battle. It was a physical, great matchup. So watching them play that way on film, we know it's going to be the same way here. And so we have to make sure that, we're not just matching that, but bringing the intensity, bringing the physicality, which, has been part of our game this year. So, but if that's what you want to be, you got to bring it every week.
We obviously know there's the rivalry game, but this is a rivalry game too for you guys, isn't it?
Well, historically, Penn State's been, a very, very good team. And when you think back, since I've been at Ohio State, these have been absolute wars. And some of the great games that we played in were some of the Penn State games. And even the one last year at Happy Valley was, that was just hard. We gave them 7 points and then fumbled the ball on the 5-yard line, and the game went all the way to the fourth quarter. Those are the types of things that you can't do in a game like this. And so we've got to take care of the football. We got to tackle well. We got to score in the red zone. We got to play well on third down. Win the X-play battle. And that's on offense. There's this balance of making sure that you run the ball and you're physical, but then you're also creating these X-plays. Well, when you can hand the ball off and create some explosives in a run game, that really helps the whole thing. So that's something we're focused on offense, and we know on defense we've got to keep it in front of us.
As you look at their defense, will it seem a little weird seeing Jim Knowles on the other sideline?
I won't be looking on the other sideline. I'll be focused on our guys, and it's about the players on the field, and we got some great men, and they're working hard. I think we had a good week of practice, and this is the next step for us.
What do you expect out of them defensively? And do you feel like you might have a little insight? You know what he's about. He knows what you're about.
Well, that's it, so it's back and forth. But I think once we get into the game, we'll get an idea of kind of what the plan is. I think, there'll be some curveballs for sure. I think he's going to change up some looks, give us some things that he hasn't shown this year at Penn State. That's my take. We'll see. I think there'll be guys moving all over the place every snap. But at the end of the day, we just have to make sure that we're identifying it, getting our pads down, rocking off the ball, and doing a good job with ball security.
They'll have a rookie quarterback going second start, kid just down the road from where you are at Olentangy. What do you expect out of Ethan Gunkemeyer?
Yeah, hard to tell because he hasn't played a whole lot of football, but knowing him and having respect for who he is as a person and as a player, he has a bright future ahead of him. So, we know he's got a strong arm. The ball comes out quick. He's a good athlete. He's smart. And he's got some good weapons around him.
What does November mean to you? And what does it mean to this program?
Well, I think when you hear the old adage, you don't remember a game in September, sometimes in October, always in November. Well, it's the November, December, and January now. So to me, the season starts in November. I think, for us, it was a little different because we started out with Texas. But in September, you're kind of finding your way. October, you kind of get your identity. In November, now you're starting to play for real. Here we are. So to me, the season starts now.
I know you coach these kids hard. You want to see the best ball now this month.
That's it. And that's every day at practice, every day in our meetings, making sure that we're stacking these days because it's like when you haven't seen somebody in a while, they look different after about 6 months or a year or 2 years. But when you're with them every day, you don't notice it. And that's the goal is that, we look a lot different here at the end of the year than we did at the beginning.
Last thing, I know you're happy to be home 3 out of the last 4 on the road, the bye week. Buckeye Nation, you want them to have to go to a silent count. That's the mission for the fans, right?
That's it, as loud as we possibly can, make it miserable for them, to communicate. I think the crowds have been awesome. I think the atmosphere has been tremendous this year. But we got to be at our best. We need the fans to be at their best. So we need that on Saturday.